welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how I created this eye look here. It was super fun and easy for me to do. If you like the face makeup that I have on here, I did actually create an in-depth contour tutorial, which is already posted on my channel, and I will link it in the description down below. If you want to see how I do this eye look, please keep watching. Okay, we're going to hop right in. I already did my brows off camera, and I used the Anastasia Dip Brow in the shade Dark Brown. Instead of using an eyeshadow primer today, I am going to go in with the NARS Creamy Concealer, the soft matte version, in the shade Vanilla. I'm going to go ahead and carve out my brows with that, and I'm going to prime my eyelids with it. Take the Sephora Pro brush in the number 57. I'm going to go ahead and dip that into the concealer and prime my eyes with it. The reason I'm taking the concealer over the eyeshadow primer is because I want it to be super opaque. I don't want any of my veins to pop through if my eyeshadow fades throughout the day. And then this is going to create a blank base, so when I put the eyeshadow on, it just sticks to that and shows through that. I take the same brush and run it right underneath my brow, so I carve out the brows. I also just took that and ran a little bit on top of the brow just to clean up the top of the brow as well. Also, a concealer is a really good trick if you need to pick one thing out of a concealer and an eye primer. You only have the money for one. Go ahead and pick up the concealer because it's multi-use. I'm not going to go on with the Tarteist Pro palette. I'm mainly going to use this palette today for my eye look, all the matte shades that are on right here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pick up this light shade in the bottom corner, well the top corner. I'm going to go ahead and rub that all over the lid just to set down the concealer. I'm taking this clean Sonia Kashuk fluffy brush and I'm going to go ahead and run it all over the lid. If you don't do that, it will stick to it in crease, so I like to set it with the powder first so everything just blends over it easily. There's a lot of ways to go about cut creases, and they can be tricky at first, but today I'm going to show you the most minimalistic and easy way to do a cut crease. I'm going to go ahead and go with the shade right here. It's much more of a warm toned brown. I'm going to take this little tiny detailer brush and dip it in there. I'm going to start off by just creating a little bit of a shadow right above my crease. You never want to put the cut crease in your crease because it will disappear when you look up. And when you do a cut crease, you want to start and you want to go ahead and flick it up and out. So when you do the crease, it's not just staying there. You want to flick it out so then when you look at the eye, it's carved up and your eye is lifted up. It is okay if you get the eyeshadow all over the face. The reason I'm doing the eyes first is so when I'm done with the eyes later, I can clean them up instead of doing the face makeup first. So if you do have eyeshadow all the way up in your hairline, it's fine. You're going to take a makeup remover later and wipe it off. I am going to keep this look pretty much matte today, so I'm going to go ahead and take more time blending so everything looks seamless. I'm now going to go into the shade right here and run that through the crease as well. Right now it does look a little crazy, but I promise you by the end it's going to look good. I'm still using the same detailer brush. I'm going to go ahead and dip into a darker brown in the palette. So far I've only used the bottom row of colors in this Tarteist Pro palette. And this darker shade I'm going to go just a smidge above where I've been putting all the other shades. I'm going to focus this one mainly above the crease and don't really flick this one out too much because it is a little dark. You don't want it to look too muddy. I'm bringing this just a little bit closer to my nose bridge because I do want this to be a little bit more bold and dramatic. See as how over here looks a little bit sloppy? Just in a couple more steps you're going to see how I take concealer to clean that up. Now I'm going to go in my Morphe M433 brush without any product on it and just buff that all together. I'm going to go back into the first light brown shade that I took and go ahead and dip that once into the brush and go ahead and blend that all together. I'm now going to take this small penciling brush, detailing brush, I'm going to dip into the darkest brown shade in the palette. Not the black, but the darkest brown. Take the point of the brush and go ahead and run it straight into the crease. A key to a good cut crease is always start with your lighter shades first and then build into your darker shades. If you go right in with your darkest brown or your black, it is going to not be the way that you want it to be. I'm going to take this flat fluffy shader brush and dip into more of the mauve shade right here. I'm going to go ahead and run that above where I've done everything so far, but not on the brow bone. I'm now going to take my Morphe brush and I'm going to dip into the orange shade in there and just kind of make everything look more warm. I'm now going to step away from that palette and go into the limited edition Gwen Stefani palette. I know that this palette is discontinued, but the shades that I use in here are very common shades that you can find anywhere. You can find them in your local drugstore or your Sephora or Ulta. I'm dipping this black shade right here. A lot of companies make matte blacks like this. I do love MAC's matte blacks as well, but I'm just going to go ahead and dip into this one since it's right in front of me. That is in the shade Blackout, which is actually Urban Decay's permanent edition black color, so you can just get the single shadow as well. I'm taking this on a very fine detailer brush and getting it right tightly against my crease, the bottom of the crease that you just created. Going in with my Morphe brush and just blending it out. Now that I have this hot mess going on, we're going to go ahead and start cleaning it up. You always want your cut creases to go from the lightest to the deepest and fade up into the lightest again. I wanted to show you this in detail and show you how intricate it is, but it is not that hard to do. Sometimes I feel like if I want that cut crease to be super sharp, I like to take a micellar water or makeup remover and clean it up. But sometimes I feel like that irritates the shadow that I'm going to put on the lid. So right now I am just going to take concealer and a Q-tip, wipe some of the excess product off, and take a concealer brush and carve it all out. Now that I took a Q-tip and just kind of wiped everything that was on my face off, I'm going to go back with the concealer brush and the same concealer I used earlier and go right underneath the line that we just created and sharpen it up. I like to clean up one eye look at a time because if you do both, the concealer on one side will dry and it kind of defeats the whole purpose of the cut crease. Also, you want to be careful that you don't really get it up into where you have the shadow. I did a little bit, so I'm going to show you how to fix that. You want to kind of keep your eyelid looking down at all times so it doesn't transfer. Before I do anything else, I'm going to go back to this Gwen Stefani palette and dip into the lighter shades right here and set the eyelid. Any matte white cream shade could do. I just want to get something that's super matte and set it down. I'm going to go back into the Tarte palette and pick up these light shades right here and set it down. I'm now going to go back into my small detailer brush and dip into a dark brown from the Tarte palette and clean up the line in between. I'm going back into the black and sharpening up the line one more time. When that's all done, I'm going to go hop off camera, do the other eye, what I just did right now in front of the camera. Then I'm going to come back on and show you how to make this eye look perfect. Back and pretty much all I did off camera was clean up this other eye and did everything that I did on camera last time. And then all I did was put a matte white on my eye. It is a little too bright than I want it to be right now, but with more blending and putting on the eyeliner, the brightness will fade. The eye look is about 50% done. There's still a little bit of blending and touch-ups here and there, but I am going to go ahead and move on to the eyeliner now. I'm going to take my Stila liquid eyeliner in the shade Intense Black and going to go ahead and do a wing right now. Now, the wing is the trickiest part when it comes to cut crease because you don't want it to be too up and then to make the crease look weird. And you want it to be a little bit more straight and even with the line that you created here. The wing is a little bit messed up right now, but you want to make sure that you don't make the line on your eyelid too thick to where it covers up the white that you just created on the eyelid. This wing is a little bit large and in charge right now. It's a little bit bigger than I want it to be. I kind of like it. I'm kind of digging it, but it's not the wing that I want it to be. Plus, I am going to go with the Q-tip and sharpen up this janky line that I have going on over here. So let me go ahead and clean up the eyeliner and I'll be right back. I went ahead and I cleaned up the eyeliner. Now I'm going to show you how to clean up this inner corner right here. I typically don't clean up the inner corner until I do the concealer on the face. I am actually going to go film a how to contour. I'm going to take just whatever's left of my pointer brush right now with the black. I'm going to go ahead and smoke out the end of the wing eyeliner a little bit. I'm going to take my Modern Renaissance palette. I'm going to take the shimmery shade that's right here and highlight my brow bone and inner corner. A little bit too low in the brow bone highlight than I wanted to, so I'm going to just take this brush one more time and blend it all together. I'm just going to pick up a little bit more of that warm shade in the Tarte palette and blend that together. This is a pretty cool tone eye look, but I do like to take a couple warm shades just to make it not too gray and cool toned. Take this fluffy brush right here. I'm going to go ahead and smoke out the bottom lash line. I'm going to take the light brown shade to go ahead and buff it out underneath my eye. I'm going to go pop on some lashes and put on some mascara and I'll be right back. Okay, so what I did was I popped on my Ardell lashes. I took the Daravel mascara from Benefit and blended the top lashes and did my bottom mascara. Then I went ahead and added some inner corner highlight. For the inner corner highlight, I took the Anastasia Glow Kit Nicole Guerrero palette and took Forever Lit and put it in the inner corner. I highlighted the brow bone from one of the shades from the Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance palette. And then all I did was just connect the eyeliner to blend the lashes with my eyeliner that I already had previously on. I'm going to go film the other contour video and then I'm going to hop back on when the makeup's all done to show you what the eye look looks in general. One other thing that I did do was I took the concealer brush that I used earlier to carve out the brow. Took it and whenever excess was left, I ran it in the inner corner just to clean up any of the dark shadow that fell into the inner corner. I'm going to go hop off, I'm going to go record that video and I'll be right back with the full face of makeup. So this is pretty much a completed eye look here. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe. It really means a lot to me. I hope that you learned some tips and tricks today. And if you did, give this video a big thumbs up and I'll see you in my next one. Thanks for watching. It's like more of this like mustardy. It's much more of a brown. I really hope that you learned some that you learned some tips and tricks today.